What is that noise?
I somebody's phone is going off. I don't know. Hey, how's everybody doing today? Unofficially, it's 7:55. But welcome to the Smoking Jack broadcast anyway. And we got 5 minutes to chop it up and just talk about some things and whatnot. What's going on, Jay Bird?
All right, Vanessa, I know you got your ticket already.
Good.
Look, I need you to get your ticket so I can get it out of inventory.
Okay.
You said what? No.
Yeah.
Oh, you sent it to me? Oh, but did you need? Okay, all right.
You should have received the email.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
I put in for Chris and Diane too.
Yeah.
Under the codes that you sent.
Okay. Oh, so you got theirs already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yep.
Because I was like, let's get in.
I'll be picking mine up very shortly. So.
All right, cool.
Did you do Rob? You did,
no, I told Rob to do his own.
Okay.
Yeah, she was just like, yeah, go ahead out there, and I don't care if you come or not.
I reminded Rob.
All right. Hello, everybody. We got about 3 more minutes before we officially start the show. Just want to thank people for coming on. Do me a favor, share, if you will. 8 o'clock, we officially will start the show. Kathy, how you doing? How you doing? Always good to see you on, and thank you for your support. Anybody want to drop any comments right now can do so, and we appreciate it. Rob, you look kind of funny smoking that thing, man. Look like you might need a manly pipe like this right here, you know, being that you about 6'5", 6'6", and whatnot, you know, something that, you know.
Yeah, what did James Brown say? If you don't start nothing, won't be nothing. I think you didn't listen to James Brown.
Hey, James Brown was my man. He also said, "Get up off that thing."
Look who's joining us.
Who is that?
D is here.
D.
Hey, y'all.
What's happening, D? How you doing, girl?
Oh, shoot. D Fletcher, what's up?
Yeah, I know D Fletcher in the house. There she is right there. All right. And 2 more minutes, we'll be officially starting, getting down with the show. Erica Robinson, how you doing? She came down to Petworth for yesterday and blessed us.
What's up, Erica?
Yeah,
Hey.
Came down yesterday and hung out with us. All right. D, all right. Thank you for joining us.
Anybody have their pipe?
Right,
Anybody
Erica?
have their pipe that's listening in?
Yeah.
See who has their pipe. I think D might have hers.
So everybody pipe up.
We piped up.
Well, don't get everybody on the show, but those that if you are interested in learning how to pack it, make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna go over a little bit of history first, etc. and whatnot, and get you a quick education on.
He said, "Let her get her pipe."
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Kathy has her vape. Okay.
All right, ain't nothing wrong with the vape, Kathy. All right, D, go ahead and get that pipe, girl. All right. Just to let you know, everybody know that's on. Make sure you stay tuned because tomorrow I will be doing a special show along with the co-host on SUSIE Lit Torch apps. Posts and want to address that. Very few people know the why of it all, but certainly tomorrow we're definitely going to address why she has left and dropped off the cigar scene. So we're going to deal with that tomorrow. It's going to be quite interesting.
I can't wait.
Some of it's going to be a little hurtful, painful, but it is what it is, you know.
Hurt some feelings.
Well, you know, sometimes people's feelings need to be hurt, man. You know, based on their actions and how they do things.
Call a spade a spade.
Some things just ain't cool the way people do business, and you know, it's not a good look. But you know, and we're not throwing stones. But the one thing about this is, you know, we're gonna be the latest news since news been news. And
hey man, yo, you need to write that down and copyright that.
What you say? Need to copyright it?
I need to copyright that, bro.
All right, everybody. Look here, it's officially 8 o'clock. Time to start the show. I am Mr. Petworth of the Smoking Jacket broadcast. To my right of me is the ever so gorgeous Miss Lanessa, Puffin Pretty Terry, and also we got in the far upper right hand corner, the man himself, Mr. Helala, as he put it, Big Rob, and then the man down there in Miami, Florida, who makes everybody jealous with the doggone weather that he is. Look at
The
him,
man, Mr. Legend.
And then we have our guest co-host with us today, and she is Miss Venita T.
Nice to meet
And
you.
Miss Venita, let me give you the opportunity, first of all, to properly introduce yourself to our audience right now. Go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Venita Tsoulogiannis, pipe smoker extraordinaire.
All right.
Yes.
It's good to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me to join
You
you.
are quite welcome. Been following you for a while now, and your pipe ventures and your smoking and the way you just chill and get your vibe on with your glass of wine and enjoy life. I know you just tell us about your venture. Just what I think you've been back about a week now, a week and a half,
About 10 days.
about 10 days. Now, where did you go? Where did you go?
Well, I went home actually to Greece. And I
Mm,
say Greece is my home because I lived there for 23 years. And so in my travels to Greece and being there for 6.5 weeks, I did some traveling to Turkey also.
mm, mm.
My best
Okay.
friend just came back.
Now, and then now explain the origin and proper pronunciation of your last name.
My name is Greek. My last name is Greek and it's pronounced Tsoulogiannis.
Mm. All right.
Yeah,
Wait, say
That's
that one more
sexy.
time.
Tsoulogiannis.
Ooh.
I'm not even gonna say what I want to say, but we're gonna be. I'm gonna be
You know
kind
what?
today.
What happens is I break it down for people who want to say it, and it's
Go ahead.
chewing, chew,
Q,
low,
Two.
low,
Low.
low, ya,
Yeah.
yeah.
knees, like your knees. So you put it out together and you say chew, low,
You're
ya, knees.
Girl, and
You're
do
not.
me a favor with these Negroes that you got
You
on this
did
broadcast.
good. Nothing. You did good.
Please
Chew
watch
low.
how you say that too low because somebody might take it literally. Okay.
Oh my
Chulo.
goodness.
Papi Chulo.
Papi
No,
chulo.
chulo.
So look here. All right, let's get to the nuts and bolts of this thing. Let's get to the nuts and the bolts of this thing right here. Look, first of all, the history, the origin of pipes. First of all, you got to understand that Thomas Prue, shut up, man. First of all, you got to understand that pipe smoking goes way back to the origin of Egypt. And so, if we want to culturally put it, people of color, as it was in the year 2000 BC, that probably the first pipe origins that could have been found were in the tombs of Egyptian princes, kings, etc. And one of the smoking tobaccos that they used was literally herbs and hemp for healing, for certain medicinal purposes, for low, stress, being laid back. So it was a this is not new. It's not anything new. It was before the ages and before the foundation even of these United States, even throughout the continents of England and so forth and so forth. But then came another tribal people that started bringing the pipe to the European countries, and that would have been the Native Americans. And being that today is Columbus Day, ironically, Christopher Columbus did when he set foot on the Americas at the time and came across the native Indians. They presented the peace pipe, which we know it as today, and they, were known for smoking and keeping the tradition of smoking from the Egyptians. And, I don't want to get into that whole biblical aspect of things, but, I could break some things down about the Native Americans and the culture of, the 12 tribes of Israel as it relates to, people of color. But that's not this segment. That's another segment. But then Christopher Columbus took this and he took it back to the European countries, and it started picking up there. And so some of the first pipes were made out of metals. Copper was one of the first things that pipes were made out of, and that was during the BC 2000 BC era. The Egyptians made it out of copper. Then it started transitioning, and I'm not going to steal Rob's thunder, but I know we're going to get with the fact finder 3000 soon. But then you had chalk, then you had clay, which the Europeans started making them with that, and then you even had the Meerschaum pipes, and made of like a hard clay type substance, because you had individuals that like to do the artwork on certain pipes and the carving. And so that became, pretty prevalent. So we literally, this has been around for the ages. It's actually one of the first things that tobacco was even smoked in before they even started rolling or anything like that. This was how tobacco was consumed with the pipes. Now let's talk about construction. They're literally, when you look at it, you would not think there's literally 10 components to this pipe. I'm not going to go over all 10, but just going to go over, and let me get this screen here. Going to go over a couple things. And so, of course, we got the bowl. You can't do nothing without the bowl because that has the tobacco. Then you have, of course, the stem and the mouthpiece. And if you notice, for comfortability, I like to keep the rubber tips. I keep them on all my pipes, and I have an array of pipes with me today that I'm going to show y'all after I give the show over to some of the co-hosts. But definitely, then you have the bore of the pipe, this right here. And the reason why it's called a bore, because it's bored out. You have the stem within, you have the bored out. And then you have what is called right down here, right down there, that's where the little hole is, which is called the draught. That is called the draught. That draught is where the air comes in. And that's the part that, as we begin to learn how to pack it, and we're going to go over that shortly, that is the part that you don't want to get clogged. And if you clog it, then we have what is known as a pipe tool that we actually, I'll show you. I don't have my good one with me, but this will serve the purpose. But the pipe tool has the tamper. And I always call it the damper because I'm dampering, but it's the official tamper, okay? And then the little part, if you ever get it clogged when packing, after you test it to see how it should draw just like a cigar. Yeah, should draw about like the cigar, cigarette, or whatever, or even consuming like soda or any liquid through a straw. It should have that kind of draw to it. Not tight. You shouldn't have to fight with it. And if you start out with it, you stick this down right there in the center and get down to the draw and unclog that draw a little. Stick it down there. And now I have great airflow coming too. Okay, so couple minutes. Well, you know what? I'm gonna leave something for Rob, but with material, one of the best materials for pipe making is brine. Okay, and certainly that is important. I'm not gonna go over all of this, but I will tell you that there are a lot of different shapes, though. A lot of different shapes, and they do have names. I'm not gonna go into the official names of them, but in some of my pipe collections, I have a straight pipe that has just a little bent curve to it, depending on how I feel. This might give me just my dignified look, so I may smoke my straight pipe. I like really good, decent pipes because the better briar you have, the better longevity, the better seasoning, the better chances of it staying lit. You can keep any pipe lit based on how you pack it. But we did talk about one thing: metal. So this is an aluminum pipe with a good briar on the inside. Something I picked up at one of the PCA shows, along with this particular one here, that I thought was unique, and I liked it. Comes with its little stand, so I could just sit it down as such and whatnot. And a very unique pipe, this here, is called the elephant's foot. Elephant. You smoke it, that part up, there's your hole, but you can sit it down. Sit it down and let it rest itself. And then one I thought that was very unique was what was called the eagle's claw.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
I
I love different
like
size
the
pipes. And so you have a lot, and then they start getting into some really wicked designs. That is a briar pipe, but painted with some very nice design. I love the look of it. And one of the important things is the pipe must fit your face. Has to fit your face. Has to fit your face. Okay.
Meaning what?
Meaning that, like, you know, me and Rob. Well, actually, I'm smaller than Rob, and I think this is really a pipe that's kind of too big for me. But I'm not gonna let it hang out my mouth. I'm holding it in my hand, and I don't think it's really designed to just let it hang out your mouth because it's really too heavy. But a good fit would be something that just don't overpower your whole face. Something that would complement even complexion wise. Like I know you got a dark. Shut on your pipe, Vanessa, which I love. She had that.
So this is a custom pipe that I have made. I found a guy on Instagram. I searched for a long time, and I said, "This is my perfect."
And it is. And the reason why I like it is because don't take this the wrong way. The Nessa is thin. The pipe is thin. The pipe stem is thin. And then it has a little daintiness to it that so it would fit her well. Color wise, I would probably say I would have gotten like more of a bronze, tannish, copper color just to go with your complexion.
Okay.
I
was going for the.
Oh no, I got
outdoors person.
yeah.
It reminded me of a tree trunk.
Yeah,
So I love the rigidness of it.
And that's great because she said it right. She is an outdoors person. She loves hunting. So that's great. But see now, like for what you were talking about, like hunting,
Okay.
I got my little quick hitters. When I know I light my bowl, don't light it, not a lot of time. It's all right. It's all right to get a couple quick hitters. Okay. Yeah. Mike can smoke some other things through that. I don't know.
I knew that was coming.
So I just wanted to give you some quick history, of what we do. Before we get into packing, I'm gonna let me turn it over to my co-host Lanessa. After Lanessa, just give us how she might have gotten into this. We're gonna go to Jay Ferd, and then we're gonna go to our lovely guest host, Miss Venita T. And so, Vanessa, what you got for us?
So I've always been intrigued by pipes because as a young girl, my interest in tobacco came from my uncle smoking pipes. So I would smell the aromas of the vanillas and the cherry wood, and I was just amazed by the smell. So that's kind of what got me into cigars, is remembering that tobacco smell. And I wanted to get into pipes, but I think it's something you graduate to because I think there's different levels. And some people never really smoke cigars, they only smoke pipes. But some people think it's like for older people, but it's just really a different style. And I think the reason why I haven't gotten into it is because there's maintenance that goes with it. So while you're smoking, you have to actually take care of it to make sure you're able to still smoke it. So cigars are easier because you can put it down and still lit. These take time. You have to actually take care and focus with it. So I did have a pipe made about 4 years ago. And I just haven't smoked it yet because I wanted to make it ceremonial. I wanted to do it in a formal way, and I wanted to understand it before I got into it. Because just like cigars, when you learn from other people, they might not be teaching you the right way.
Right.
But I know that Chris knows what he's doing. I have some great folks here on the show, and I thought it would be a great idea for us to do it together. So here we are. And I even had some accessories that I had purchased along the way, knowing that I was going to become a tobacco or pipe smoker eventually. So I have a little pouch for my tobacco. Chris filled it up for me.
I did.
So of course I had to choose the red. It's a red leather pouch that I got for my birthday a few years ago. And then I had purchased some tobacco that I thought I would like. This is a Bella Vanilla. And I've had this for about probably 2 years. And I was like, Chris, is this old now? Can I still smoke it? And he opened it today for the first time. And he said it was still more. So I was surprised. And then I went to, where's that other little pack?
I mean, this.
That basic one over there,
This
Chris,
protect-
grab that, the original.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah, so
But this particular tobacco right here is 10 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can you, does it age? Does it really like,
it
is
doesn't
it better
age,
with age?
it doesn't age like cigars.
Okay.
Too much preservatives, too much sugar in it. But I just keep it with some pellets. And because this literally was filled up to the top, and with other different tobaccos, I've had that particular one for 10 years.
Okay. So that's my pipe journey. I mean, although I haven't really started yet, I've been preparing for a long time. This is my inaugural smoke in my custom pipe.
All right. Jay Bird,
Yes, sir.
what you smoking on today, man?
Well, I don't have a pipe, so I figure since I don't know crap about pipes, let me just go in there, listen, pay attention, and learn. So
Okay.
when I do go to buy a pipe, I can at least seem like I kind of know what I'm talking about, you know. But
All right.
okay, so as a non, okay, so as a
I'm
non-pipe,
gonna bring you one. Okay, hold me to that. I'm gonna bring you one.
so well, how much should I be looking to spend on my first pipe? What's like a reasonable price range going into the whole pipe game?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it right the first time. There's so this right here was a $500 pipe. I just bought it when I went to Tampa. I don't suggest you do that, but I'm just being I love different pipes. I love tackling different pipes, and I don't have a problem buying a $39 pipe, depending if I'm going to go out hunting and use it, out there. I don't want to lose no dog. Yeah, I'll take my corn cob out there.
Free.
Okay, but to start off, a Savinelli or Peterson, about $89 on up, I would at least get something really decent. Instead of getting what we call in the industry as a board pipe runs you anywhere from about $24.99 to like $40, but they're so the brine on the inside, the briar is not all that great. Eventually, as it heats up, it'll start to crack on the inside. So you'll end up spending money 2 to 3 years later getting another one. So you might as well get something that's going to hold. These pipes that I have here will outlast me, and can be passed on to my kids, grandkids, etc. They will last a long time.
All right. So with that said, if I'm gonna go pipe hunting, right?
Yeah.
You were describing like the different like shapes, sizes. So I'm gonna give you my smart profile. You tell me what kind of pipe I should be looking for. Like,
Well, you know what? To complement the beer.
That's what I was thinking about.
Here you go right here. Hold on. Don't go nowhere.
He's going to his side stand.
the secret
So
stash.
this is you all day long, Jay Fred, with the classic look, the classic pipe for the beer. Okay? Okay, classic red for the beer. Okay, because one, it comes out from my face just right, just good, right? But as it drops down, it gives you that kind of Sherlockish home.
Yeah, so it's feeling like you're like, hello, old chap, how you doing today?
Yeah, right. So this is a good, nice little straight stem with a little hook on about a 45-degree angle. Works for you.
All right,
Works for you.
okay, I'm on it.
Get my side view here. I just got a little small goatee right here. you know, girl.
Nah,
I,
but
never thought.
I've been meaning to jump on the pipe game for a while, but I've been procrastinating with it. And but
yeah.
I'm gonna jump on it, man. I can't be, out here. I'm past that. I'm like that certain. I'm a man of a certain age, and distinction. So I gotta
That's
rock
Exactly.
that.
right. That's right.
So I'm about to make that happen.
All right, man.
I never thought about the pipe actually hanging out of your mouth. I never thought about.
Yeah, and see, and that's why I have the rubber tips.
Okay, that
Because
don't have.
without this rubber tip, like it just clashes with your teeth. So now I put
But
comfortability.
you don't have to do that.
No, you don't have to, but yeah. But I like mine, hanging because as I'm walking and I'm getting my smoke going, I like it, and it's easy on the teeth. So these rubber tips, they about 99 cents.
Okay.
Um,
You carry those here at.
no, I do have extra ones though, but I'll make sure you get one. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Miss Venita T,
Oh,
what's
hey,
going
hey,
on? We
hey,
gotta put you front and
you
center
guys.
stage. Hey,
First of
what's
all,
happening?
I want to say your Lynette, Vanessa, your journey is great, and starting here today with us smoking your pipe, it's an honor for us too. You've had it for 4 years. You wanted to start on a special occasion, so thank you for sharing that occasion with us today. Um, my journey started probably 9 years ago. I am an avid cigar smoker, but about 9 years ago, I got pneumonia. So my doctor was like, "We need to lay off the cigars," but I still wanted to smoke. So I decided to start smoking a pipe. I thought the smoke would be a little bit more milder, lighter, and my journey started when I actually smelled pipe smoke from some restaurant where I was sitting, and it brought back a childhood memory and of my grandfather or great uncle smoking pipes on the front porch. And so it's something I wanted to try. And I remember seeing as a young girl Angela Davis, the political activist, smoking a pipe. And I'm like, well, and living in Europe for many years, we were a secret society of women smoking cigars. It was still a male dominated pastime. So it's not something that we could have done in public. But throughout most of the modern history, women around the world, particularly in the Eastern world, they smoke pipes. This was a leisure time for them, and it was graceful and it was stylish to do so. So when I picked it up, I wanted a feminine version of a pipe. I didn't want a Hugh Hefner or Albert Einstein or Sherlock Holmes pipe. I wanted a pipe that fit me and a pipe of my choice. And I think um, it's right when you say you have to have a pipe that reflects you. It's an extension of who you are. So I'm mindful about the pipe that I have. My teeth are small, so I want a small pipe. I want something in my hand um, that is dainty, that is feminine, that is seductive. And like I said, the pipe is an extension of who you are, and the pipe experience in a whole, it is. It's about the flavor. It's about the flavor. So I I go all around looking for pipe tobacco, to tell you the truth, because pipe smoking is not a quick activity. It's a leisure activity in which you give yourself um, movement to slow things down. To enjoy that particular time when you have your pipe in your hand, whether it's after a long day or a raise or empty nester where you're celebrating. Um, it's your time. And this is what I like and enjoy about the pipe. When I pick it up, whether it's my jazz session or coming off the road, um, this is my time with this pipe. And there's no right or wrong way. You got to learn what it is that you want to get out of it. I need 40 minutes. I need 40 minutes to pick up this pipe
Mm.
because I know that's the time I'm going to get my best result or to to be who I am, and smoking the pipe. I don't actually get that from a cigar, but the pipe is more personable. It's who you are. So I like it. I like starting it. It takes work. That's why a lot of people don't like it, and I think
Yeah.
it's for that reason it's declined, because the pipe it doesn't have appeal for the young people or for women. So female pipe smokers remain uncommon because it's not appealing. The pipe is not appealing. And so that's one of the things I wanted to change. So I wanted this pipe that I could have my name engraved on. I wanted this other pipe here that has diamonds on it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
nice.
and it's a
Wait a
light
minute.
the right
Keep that
pipe.
up there. Keep that up there. Let me see that again. All right.
Oh,
Oh,
isn't that dainty? That's
Yeah.
cute.
So I wanted something, or my short ones also. This is pink. It's a little shorty when I know that I don't have a lot of time, and the
there
bowl
you
is
go.
nice too.
Beautiful.
Give me a 30-minute smoke.
Hmm.
This is something I really like too. Although
Mm,
the mouthpiece is it's a big mouthpiece, I'm not
right.
too particularly. I would smoke this only at home. I don't like a big mouthpiece when I'm out. But this is one of my favorites too because it's a little shorty.
Mm,
Somebody talked about a shorty, and
yeah.
this is my Big Bertha right here. I call it
Like,
Big Bertha.
nice.
Yes.
Everybody,
We can see
I
who
call
your
this.
vendors are. We
It's
can
my
Right.
check
Big
them.
Bertha because look at how big the bowl is. So when I'm watching the basketball game, I know that I can get at least 1/4 in with this. You know, so
Hmm.
Uh, so
it's an
one of our viewers wanted to know is it marble or wood, but we're gonna explain that the whole
yeah,
briar thing with
yeah. It's a briar. It's a briar,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and I wanted to show you guys this
And
too because
briar is wood, Vanessa.
yeah, it's
Wow.
wood. It's briar wood. So
Oh,
this
that's
is a
nice.
really nice one too. And it's a smaller one also. I want you to look at the tips because we talked about tips. When I was talking about, smoking cigars in Greece and it wasn't fashionable for women to have big things in their mouths in public, goes for the pipe too. I like my pipe that I can hold it just like this, and I smoke just like this, and I can speak just like this. I want a smaller tip. I want a smaller mouthpiece. And these are very cheap. These are very cheap. I change them often, and I like the hole smaller because not as much saliva goes into it as like the big ones. And so for me, it's a great contrast when I'm going out. So these are some of my really. Let me show you this one. I call this my Harry Potter pipe because I really like
Oh,
this one.
wow.
It's a long stem one also, and the long stem is the church wood. And the church wood, it has its own history about church wardens who wanted to smoke while in church. So they had a long stem so they can put it out the window so they could smoke while they were still in church. And so my church warden, this is the
So that's
long
something
stem.
Chris
I
would
call
have.
it the long stem because I think it's very dainty. I think it's very feminine, and that's what I want when I'm smoking. And as a matter of fact, we didn't speak on putting a screen inside.
Yes.
When you're
That's
packing your tobacco, I keep a screen in mind so the heat of the tobacco or smoking won't crack my bowls because briarwood is still a very sensitive wood too. You know, so I like to have my screen inside, and this is one of my favorites also. My long stem, and yeah, I this is what I do. I love
Vanessa,
it. I love
Vanessa
it.
has a question for you.
Yes.
Vanessa has a question for you, and when she answers that question, we have a couple questions, and I see your questions. I posted some of the questions that some of the viewers have, and we're going to
Okay.
get to that in a minute. We're going to answer some of your questions
Okay.
because they're very relevant. But Vanessa, go ahead.
so, Venita, thank you for your knowledge and thank you for sharing your wonderful collection. So now I have a new pipe expert I can reach out to. I'm so excited.
Of course.
So, my question for you is you mentioned earlier something about one of your pipes being serviced. So, you actually have somebody actually service or work on your pipes, and how much does that cost to have somebody take care of your pipe?
Well, my pipe that's being serviced, it is being serviced in Yugoslavia because this is where I had my pipe maker make the pipe for me. And so I sent it back to have it serviced. Once he's made it for you, service is free because he stands by his
Okay.
work as a pipe maker. And so I had my pipe crack, and so, yeah, so I had it serviced and cleaning it also. Like I smoke one pipe, a favorite pipe of mine. Cleaning it is, I clean it with rubbing alcohol, 90% rubbing alcohol, and apple cider vinegar. Believe it or not, to get the smoky taste from the pipe and from the tip. But it's not very expensive when you're going to a pipe maker. This is one of the reasons why I don't buy pipes online, or I say online, or plastic pipes. First of all, they're not very good for your health either, you know. And when you're putting pipe tobacco in a bowl that is not a wooden bowl, or designed for pipe smoking. And so, yeah, the pipe maker depends on who you have and where you can go. I go to one pipe maker
Okay.
who services and makes my pipes um, professionally. Mhm.
And I could be wrong, but if they're made in another country, that sounds like it could be pretty expensive. Is it expensive? Do you
Well,
spend a lot of money?
I will pay for the shipping.
Okay.
And shipping could cost upward to maybe $18. This is not my first time sending it back. But like I said, my pipe maker, he is from Yugoslavia, and he stands by his work. Any problems that I have with my pipes, he takes them back and he fixes them for me.
Okay.
Or I order from him my mouthpieces also, because in certain pipes you just can't find certain mouthpieces. And then, like I said, I want a feminine pipe. So, like, where do you find that specific mouthpiece that Mr. Helliver might have won't fit my pipe? So, yeah.
Thank you.
Rob, what's going on, man? Drop a little knowledge on us, bro.
Well, it's kind of hard to follow that up. It's somebody that's very, very, deft in the fine art of smoking a pipe. For me, my journey began almost 20 years ago. I bought this is actually one of my first pipes that I ever bought. And believe it or not, this pipe was actually the color of like natural briar wood, like almost like the color of the wall behind me.
Okay.
And there was a couple of manufacturing defects, and I'll show them to you in a second, which made this pipe, they kind of stopped working on it after a while. And so what they did was they decided to sell it as is. And so you could get cheaper pipes, from a reputable manufacturer, where they have like kind of mistakes done to them. But if you take a look here at the bowl, you'll see some scratches
Right.
right there. Those scratches are actually wood putty, where the manufacturer made a mistake and filled it in with wood putty and then
Wood
sold the
putty.
pipe. Now, when it comes to different pipes, like this one, I like this particular pipe because it has a wide mouth on it, a wide bowl, and the bowls come in different shapes. But let me move to something else real quick. So we're gonna go here and break out the Fact Finder 9000.
All right.
So let's see what we got here. Oh, it's always a chore to get the Fact Finder 9000 involved. So you guys can still hear me. So there's different types of materials. Like as they were saying earlier, smoking a pipe is it's kind of labor intensive when it comes to comparison smoking a cigar. That's why when you see a lot of pipe smokers, they're always on their front porch in a rocking chair. They're always sitting still. They're taking their time and they're enjoying the smoke.
Right.
And the reason why is because you have to kind of tamp down. You have to make sure that it's burning correctly so that you can get the flavor from the tobacco that you want. So there's different types of materials that the pipes are made out of. You have briar, which is a wood, and it's, believe it or not, briar. And these pipes right here, when they're made out of briar, I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but this is actually made out of the root of the briar tree or the briar bush. So what they'll do is they'll cut a actual root, and it has a natural heat resistance, which makes it perfect for smoking tobacco out of. So the briar wood, um, it has a natural fire resistance. The different types of materials now, like Mr. Petworth said earlier, they can be made out of anything from clay to different types of materials. They can be made out of metal. They can be made out of copper. There's the three that I listed here was briar, clay, and meerschaum. Now, meerschaum is a mineral. Believe it or not, you can actually find clumps of meerschaum floating in the Dead Sea, and it's an actual mineral. It's called sepalite. And what they do is they pick it up, they clean it up, and then they start carving because it's a very soft rock or a mineral, and that's what they carve meerschaum pipes out of. Sometimes you see dragons on them. Sometimes they can make pretty much anything out of it. And then when we do is we graduate to pipe tools. Now, as you can see right here, I have pipe tools. Okay, this is the typical pipe tool that Mr. Petworth pointed to earlier. On the pipe tool, you have the spoon. And so when you're done smoking your tobacco, you can scoop out your tobacco with the spoon. You have the spike, and he demonstrated to you how to use the spike properly when you're trying to allow more airflow into your bowl so that your coals can ignite and get that air that you're pulling when you pull through your mouthpiece. Then over here, you have the tamper. Let's see if I can grab it right there. Okay, I'm doing this backwards. I didn't set up the camera properly. But so your tamper is that when you're smoking your pipe, your coals are actually is what's burning, and that burning is going to be tamped down by that tool every now and then so that it can ignite the unburnt tobacco. So as you pull through it, it kind of catches and it burns straight down. So over here, we also have packing the pipe. Now, this is something that a friend of mine that when I first started getting into pipes, he kind of told me, and he says, kind of keep this in consideration here. I always pack my bowls in three. I would like to say three sections or
I like
three
that.
categories. The first pack, you pack it like a baby. So basically, when you put your tobacco in there, you're not going to jam it in there with your finger. Okay, you're going to put it in there, and you're just going to tamp it so it stays in place. The second pack, you're going to tamp it like a lady. So you're going to tamp it a little bit harder, not nowhere, not as hard as or not as light as the baby. And then as the third pack, right here, you're going to tamp it like a man. And that's where your bowl is going to be almost flush with the top, or your tobacco is going to be almost flush with the top of your bowl. All right. So like a baby, like a lady, and then like a man. And what that does is that allows your different types of tobacco because depending on the type of tobacco that you're smoking, you might have sticks and stems. You might have the middle media, which is kind of like large flakes, and then you might have the dust-like particles for tobacco. Okay, and you're going to pack those in different layers, and you can pack according to your smoking preference. You can smoke them in any one of these three categories. You can, basically, it's a personal preference. So then we move down here to the types of tobacco. Now, people go when they go into places, you typically buy tobacco in ounces. So if you go in and you grab a tobacco and you smell it, you say, "Hey, this is Black Russian. I really like this." You just ask for a half an ounce. Can I have a half an ounce of this? And they'll give it to you in a Ziploc bag. You can ask for, creme brulee. You can ask for different types of what they call aromatics. Okay, so the different types of tobacco are aromatics. They have Kentucky Fire Cured. They have Virginia. They have English. They have Turkish. They have Oriental. There's all different types of tobacco depending on what it is that you like. They have Cavendish. They've got all sorts of different tobaccos that you like. And then, of course, the Smoking Jacket broadcast right here. There's all the folks
All
right here.
right.
So, but it really comes down to personal preference and what it is that
Right.
you're enjoying and what it is that you're trying to get out of it. So, um, for example, this pipe right here is my newest of the crew. This is actually manufactured in Denmark. So it's got a narrow bowl, as you can see, compared to my other pipe. So you have one really tight and one narrow, long and thin. So Of course, depending on which one you're choosing to smoke, you would pack it differently. The last thing that I want to touch on, but by far not, well, definitely not the least, is on the inside of each bowl, the more you use your pipe, the more you're going to have a buildup of ash along the inside of the walls. Now, this is very important, so I want you all to pay attention. It's called cake. Okay. Now, this cake, this ash that builds up along the inside, the interior of each bowl, is very, very important. And it's very important that you do not scrape that out. And the reason why, now this bowl right here, this actual pipe I've had a lot longer than this one. And as you can see, it's a lot thicker. It's a lot thicker along the inside walls there, the ash is. Now it's very important because that ash acts like an insulator. Okay. Typically, I switch from cigars to pipes during the winter because when you're outside smoking your cigar, you're smoking your pipe, it keeps your hands warm. And you can always tell when your pipe is getting too hot, and you're going to run the risk, like the lady just said, like Venita. I'm sorry, Venita. I'm terrible with names, but
That's
what
okay.
Venita just said that you could crack your bowl. You could have what they call a burnout, which is where your fire kind of burns through the side of your bowl, and then basically your pipe is ruined. But it's very important that you do not scrape that out, and it will get thicker as time goes on. It acts like an insulator between the wood, which is the briar, and the fire and tobacco, which is inside your bowl. There are times, like she said a minute ago, that she sends her pipes out to be serviced. The more you use your pipe, the smaller this hole, the diameter, the radius of it is going to get smaller
That's
until
what I was
eventually, right? Eventually, as it gets to the point where you're not going to be able to smoke it anymore. That's a great thing because then you can send it out and have someone ream it out for you, and they're going to ream it to about a thickness of a dime, and that's going to protect your pipe. It's going to protect your pipe, keep you from getting a burnout. It's going to keep you hopefully from cracking your bowl. Some people will smoke their tobacco in their pipes, and then when they get down to the very last bit and it's all ash, they'll dump out a little bit of the ash. They'll take their thumb and put it over the hole, and then they'll shake it up really good to coat the inside and the bottom of the bowl with the ash, and then they'll dump it out. And then you want to let your pipe dry and rest. You can always switch between your pipes and give your pipe a break. But that's very, very important to make sure that when you're cleaning your pipe and it comes apart like this, you want to get your pipe cleaner in there, like she was saying with the apple cider vinegar, just cleaning it out to make sure that you don't have any dirt and debris in there. And then you also want to run a pipe cleaner down into the bottom of the bowl, but you do not want to clean your bowl out. That's going to protect you. So
good stuff.
Good
thank you.
stuff, man. Absolutely.
Great, great.
Absolutely. Give Rob a hand. Right.
Right. Everything goes again.
So let's get to the packing of the pipe. And one of the things that I want to address that Rob put together was some of the tobaccos. Because tobaccos are going to be important to your pleasure and not just the people around you. Because you have different kinds of tobaccos that give different kinds of flavor profiles, and it's important to know what those are. And so I'm not gonna get all the technical names, but I will give you what to ask for when you do go into a tobacco store. And I also want to explain this that Vanessa brought in the difference between buying this drugstore tobacco and the difference between going to
That was free from Cigar International.
exactly, and I get it.
Corn cob
But
pipe.
I'm going to explain this to you because this is important to know. But let's get to the package. So when you let me change screens here. So when you start on your pack, let me get a different type here because actually, all right. So when you start, let's grab some tobacco. I'm gonna make a mess here because let me just instead of making a mess, let me put this over here. So I'm gonna grab some tobacco. There's nothing in here. And I'm going to put some tobacco in there, like Rob had stated. Okay. But what I'm going to do, since this has kind of a small hole, I can use my pinky. But I'm gonna push down a little, like Rob said, like a little baby, get it down in there, right? and I'm not going to push down a whole lot harder because when we get to that third level, when he said pack it like a man, then we'll push it down a little more. So that second layer, and we're doing 3 layers here. I'm going to get it in there. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the meaty part of my thumb, get that little push, and what it'll do is get you a little nice, little solid, nice even off. Now what I may end up doing, a lot of times instead of using my finger, I'll take my pipe tool and tamp it down a little more, tamp it down a little more. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the time to check my draw. So I still got a lot more looseness and airflow than I would. Than I would like. Well, no, because really, depending on your draw is going to be important how well your pipes stay lit. And then going back to it, like if I let it rest for about 2 to 3 minutes, it should not go out. Okay, I should be able to pick this pipe back up, and start stoking it like you do a fireplace, per se, and get it going again. And we're gonna discuss that and talk about getting it going. So I got it packed down enough to go ahead and pack it enough. Don't be scared to get it up to the top. Take another good pinch. I'm gonna put it in there. Okay. And now I'm using my thumb again, using the meaty part of my thumb. You see all that going on there? The meaty part of my thumb. And I'm going to push it down. Push it down. That's going to be my manly push with the meaty part of my thumb. You don't have no meat on your thumb, like I did here. Well, the pipe tool. Get with the pipe tool. I'm going to check mine. There we go. That's the right consistency for me. I don't really need to go ahead and use my pipe stick to stick it down there to loosen the hole. And some of you may. Don't be scared to, because I've been doing this for so long. I know just about where I want to be with it. But if you get a tight draw, get it down there in the center, right there, and you know when you unclog it, because you're gonna feel like a little dump, and that will definitely unclog it. So once I get that going, close this back up, and we're ready for the light. Okay, ready for the light. Now, what is important is that you do not use a torch lighter on your doggone pipes. Okay, it burns. It's too hot. One, it'll ruin the outer layer, and also when it gets too hot in there, you may ruin your brine. Okay, so we don't want to use that torch lighter. I got some long stem matches here, and we are going to get with that. Now, what's important, Vanessa, that she just lit hers, is to get a good initial light. Some people would say get your top light, let it go out, tamp it down a little, and then relight. Nah, I just go ahead and get my light on all the way through.
Tamp it down and relight.
No.
Good job, Lanessa.
I'm loving it. It's very smooth.
Good.
Now notice my tobacco is rising up. That's normal.
Okay.
I want to get a good light. There we go. Okay. Now, the important part of this is, once I get that good initial light, that tobacco that rose up a little, I'm gonna tamp it down. You notice when I start tamping on it, going down, that I got more smoke. And now I'm ready to enjoy, my pipe. I'm smoking. Let me get back here. And so every now and then, like if I sit my pipe down, I got a good nice cherry on it. Right there. I should be able to sit that down a couple minutes. And if I ever set it down, and I'm not getting a whole lot of smoke out of it. Okay, like Vanessa's not getting hers. What I want to do is I use kind of like the puff, the blow and puff method. That's like stoking the pipe. Blow into it a little, draw back. A quick blow, draw back. A quick blow, draw back.
Mhm.
Until it's good and stoked, getting the cherry nice red hot.
So I'm get my hang time.
Okay, and you're getting your relight. A lot of times, also for the lighting or reignition, or getting it together, use the tamper. Okay, you pack it down. You don't have to do it so hard. Nice and light taps, all the way around the bowl, to start getting that initial relight. I'm gonna go and defer to Venita because I've watched her, and every time I've seen her, she always has a good light, good smoke going on. What's your secret, T?
My secret here is where I'm packing now, and I've packed to capacity. My secret is with my poker, I actually poke holes in the tobacco. So I start like this, and I start poking holes here
Okay.
to get a better airflow. So
Mm-hmm.
it's packed, and so now I put holes in it, and I pack it down a little bit more after I put the holes in it, and then I light it. Um, and for me, my secret is I start in the middle.
Okay, right.
My sips are very, very subtle, very gentle.
Okay.
Wait a minute, if I stop.
Right. Close to the area. The nest don't look like a beginner. All right.
Have
There
good
you go. There
teachers,
you
very
go.
good
There you go.
teachers.
So, and we want to get that to the point where you don't have to, keep doing the relight. Yeah. And that's in the packing and getting to know,
And
getting
there's no wrong way here. There's no wrong way.
absolutely
You
not.
just figure it out how you want it. Let everybody, we have our own different styles. So there is no wrong or right way. You find out what your purpose is. What is it that works for you? And that's how you start.
So, question: did you guys ever retrohale your tobacco? Okay, tobacco.
All the time.
Rob
I mean,
said no.
I do every now and then. I don't like to, put the consumption in my lungs or anything, but every now and then I get it coming through my nose, and and it's not so much for taste. And again, let's talk about taste because your your different tobaccos, okay, is important. I like a good Cavendish, okay, which you get a little vanilla, rum, a little bit of cherry in there.
Is that for smoking, Kevin?
We're smoking some Cavendish, but here's the one thing that those have a lot of sugar. They're gonna burn hot, okay, and not only will they burn hot, you have one particular brand of tobacco that carries a lot of bite to it. Uh, I'm gonna get the correct pronunciation of this, and that is, give me a second, is Latakia, which has a awful smell to it. But it's a tobacco that is used to blend in other tobaccos to add some extra added flavor. It's something that you definitely don't want to smoke alone. but they do use it to blend some tobaccos. It's an additive, right? But then and that's the one that carries a lot of pepper as well as Virginia cut. Now, Virginia, people think that it's grown in Virginia. No, it's not. It's just a particular name of a particular brand grown all over the world, and that is used as a base. Okay, and so a lot of times, if you got that base and it's bad, it's going to burn your tongue, and you get a lot of burning on your tongue, and that's unpleasant. But and so hence why I use like a Kentucky-ish, a straight cut tobacco. I'm gonna give you an example of what that might look like. Okay, this is a English blend here in its most raw form, and it looks like this. Doesn't even, it's not even cut up, but I'll take this and cut it up and blend it in because what I want to do is I now want to balance sugar. I want to balance how cool I want my pipe to smoke. I want to balance how cool I want it to hit on my tongue. And so I want to cut a lot of that burning. So I will mix. I will never go into a store unless it's like a what's called a mild Cavendish. Is really like a bright gold color, copper kind of color, because that's a nice mild cool smoke. So I start learning to blend different tobaccos with, like, let's say there's a chocolate I love. That's really nice. But again, smoking that alone will put too much burning on my tongue. Get my pipe heated up a whole lot to where you don't even want to hold it. Matter of fact, this big old thing right here ain't getting hot. But that's where that heat comes from. So now I'm taking like a Kentucky, almost like a cigarette kind of tobacco. That doesn't have much flavor to it, doesn't have much aromatics to it, but it's something to cut the sugar. So if I use a half ounce of that, let's say if I get a half ounce of like a good Cavendish that's nice and sweet, I'm going to literally put an ounce, mixing that half ounce with an ounce of Kentucky, because I'm still getting some aromatics, but I'm now getting a cooler smoke and I'm not getting a lot of burn. That's my preference. And I'm curious to know what kind of tobacco that Miss T has going on here, because I always follow her and I see her smoking all the time. One of the things I want to get to, in which I brought this up, Patent Black was one of the most popular tobaccos in the 70s, early 80s, onto the 90s. It was like the CVS. What was the other? What was before People's drugstores? You walk in there. The problem with this is it has a lot of burning, and it has a Cavendish mixed with a Virginia. And sometimes when they sit on the shelf long, they go bad and produce a sourness to it. Still got the aromatics, but you're getting that sourness to it. And here's the key point to this. Too much preservative is in this. That's why it's packed in the plastic bags on the shelf. You don't know when it's going to get bought. You got too much preservatives in this, which those preservatives also add to that hot burning and that foul aftertaste that you get in your mouth. So that's why it's important to get the proper knowledge and blending what you like, how you like it, how you want to smoke it, and so forth and so on. So basically, it's for your enjoyment. Now, for your enjoyment, everybody gonna love the smell. Oh, that smells good, but then you're sitting there burning my tongue, and now you sit there playing that phone. And then when you get home and you drink a glass of cold water, oh, it's gonna burn like hell.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
All right, so one time I went to this spot and I blended my own coffee, right? So I got coffee beans from around the world, and I created my own blend. So you're saying essentially you can take a bunch of different tobaccos and create your own. Wow, okay, that's pretty dope.
Absolutely. Now
Yeah.
here's the thing. You cannot tell the tobacco store or tobacconist, give me an ounce of that and mix it with this. They will no longer do that. Federal law prohibits that now. Okay? So if you buy an ounce of this, then you got to buy an ounce of that in a separate bag, and you got to mix it yourself.
Okay.
Which is better. Which is better.
Yeah, and it's better. Yeah.
Custom blend.
Yeah, which is better. Yeah. I want
Now
to
I
say
want you to
that.
know the whole time I was talking, I set my pipe down. I didn't, but I pick it back up. It should be able to still lit. It should be able to smoke, and I'm getting it stoked and ready for. Don't have to use matches again.
Well, no.
Oh,
No, because I actually
because yours went out, and I'm gonna tell you, there you go. You know, get it stoked. Use the damper.
I did.
Go ahead, keep
So I
going.
took yes,
Keep
I
going.
already did.
You did it? Okay, good.
So it's too late. I mean, I didn't smoke it fast enough.
Good.
Okay, I didn't know.
This is let me say this is why I don't order offline, because I want to be able to see my tobacco. I want to be able to see the consistency of it, the moisture in it, the color of it, the smell of it, if it's fresh, how it's kept. And so I always buy. I buy in bulk, but I always buy when I'm able to see it. Aromatic English is one of my favorites, and an Orango Balkan Supreme is a favorite of mine also. But I also like the cobblestone, the maple walnut, and the butternut butter rum, as well as some of the nostalgia memories that I have of my uncles with the vanilla, and so I always go back to that. But I remember this: what you smell is not what you taste.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
What you smell is not what you taste. So people are like, "Oh, that smells so nice," but I'm like, "Well, I don't. That's not what I'm tasting. I don't
yeah.
taste that butter rum, or something like that." And when I am trying a new tobacco, I do take it through my nose. I do, because there's a lot of membranes. There's a lot of senses there, and so especially if I'm on the fence about a tobacco, I want it to not just to have the flavor in my mouth, or of that tobacco. I take it through my nose because it gives me another opportunity to give it a chance to say, I don't like it or I do like it. And some of my favorites that it took me a while to say. And I started with Captain Black too, because I didn't know. When you are a new pipe smoker, you don't
All of us
know.
did. Trust
Right.
me.
I started with Captain Black Gold, or I didn't even try the white label or something.
Yeah.
Um, but it didn't take too long before I realized that my tongue was burning.
I picked
So,
up my
and
first pipe.
if you paired it your cigar, if you paired your pipe with a cognac, then you know you in trouble too.
Woo!
I was
Oh my
wondering
God.
about that too.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
what do you
So
pair with?
me, if I'm smoking my pipe, whiskey won't do it for me. I have to have like either a nice smooth red wine, or I'm gonna drink a cool Chardonnay or something. That's just me. I can only do like a whiskey bourbon or whatever with my cigars. I can't do it with a pipe. If I'm smoking a straight cut tobacco, such as probably this, I may do it then. I may do it then. But yes. Well, we just about out of time here. Rob, you got anything else to add, man?
No, I just know that a lot of people are kind of skittish about getting into pipes just because it takes so much time and effort. But just like Venita said earlier, it's a personal preference. It's all in how you want to do it. And then once you find something that works for you, then you'll just wind up doing it the same way every single time. So it becomes an enjoyable experience. So I want to wish everybody out there good luck in finding a pipe that works for them. Linessi, you don't look like an amateur. You look like you've been doing this for years. And Jay, come on, man.
Hey,
I'm with you,
I,
brother. I'm coming. I've been educated tonight.
Okay, okay,
You know what I'm saying? See, I
Let's
get to
go.
I get to skip the Captain Black part and go straight to the
yeah.
exactly.
But you
And
know
then,
what,
Jay,
man?
you got a recommendation on the pipe that might be just for you too, because
exactly.
your
So
pipe
I
is
got
an extension of who you are.
Look, that port wine that you love.
yeah.
Oh man, that port wine with this, whew, it's gonna be nice. I think Venita can attest to that one there. Port, he's a port. Oh, all right. There you go.
Chardonnay.
There you go. All right, cool. Man, Lanessa,
So
Vanessa, great job. You did a great job.
thank you. Love at first puff. I love it.
Oh,
It's
all
so
right.
smooth. It's nice. I like this Cavendish that he shared. I was thinking I would
Yeah.
do more of it vanilla the
Well,
first
I got a
time.
smoother one for you.
Okay. But I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you for the education. Fact Finder 3000
I
always is
think
a
I think you'll like the buttered rum also.
Oh
yeah,
yes, I
butter
would
rum
love to
is
try
nice.
that. I just didn't want to purchase too much. You know how you overdo it sometimes when you get into something
Of
new.
course, of
So
course.
I wanted to take it slow. Almost 5 years too slow. But definitely, I love it. I think I'll travel with
Erica,
my
don't go
pipe.
nowhere. Don't go nowhere, Erica.
I think I'm going to travel with it too. So when I go to Miami to Destination Herf in January, I think we get to get
Oh,
together for a pipe smoke, Jay.
nice.
Yeah.
So be ready. Be ready, Jay.
I'll be ready.
We need our own section, Jay, for pipe smokers.
Done. Done.
So, Miss T, let
Yes.
me officially thank you for joining us. You got any
Yeah,
Thank you for
closing?
thank you
having me.
for
I
the
appreciate you
Oh,
guys.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. You got any closing departing words for us before I give the final summary and what's coming tomorrow?
Ooh. um, no, I think we've covered everything. I appreciate you guys having me on. And
All right.
and Rob's, I loved Rob's board also.
fact
Oh, thank you. Thank you very
Baby,
much.
the woman and the man,
Well,
that's a whole
wait till
family of
tomorrow, Lord
packing right
Jesus.
there.
Uh,
That's
What'd you say
a
tomorrow?
whole packing
yeah.
family right there.
Yeah, yeah. But look, let me do this. Let me get on screen here. For those of the 7 or so people that's on now, I don't know who's on YouTube right now, but tomorrow I'm doing another show. Tomorrow, doing another show. And I certainly want you to tune in on that show tomorrow. Tomorrow, I want to explain why we lost a most important person in our industry, which was SUSIE Mooney of the Lit Torch Act, who decided to just cut it and shut it down because the industry has not been kind to her. People has not been kind to her. And so we're going to address that. Hopefully, prayerfully, she'll be on the show. She did say that she would be on. She did call. She changed her mind. She don't want to throw stones. I said, look, you know what? Lies will throw stones. The truth just is what it is. And we don't necessarily have to name their names or this, that, or the other. But it's a shame that when you provide a service, and for that service, people just do the things they do, non-payments, this, that, and the other, realizing that you're not the only one that has to eat. The person that's providing your service have to eat. So I want to address this tomorrow because we get on this thing and we get on our cigar soapbox and we claim that we about this culture and about this life and all this, and you can't go a daggone day without my cigar. You want to post it, you want to smoke it, you want to show your rapper what you're smoking. You know what? But there's some integrity and character and other things and traits that goes with that. So we're gonna address some things tomorrow, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
yeah,
Okay,
do what it do, baby.
because really, literally, uh, you have to find a way. To, one, do business right. Treat people how you want to be treated in terms of when you do business with other folks. Don't all of a sudden you're blowing them up. Now the phone calls is null and void, and now you can't get them when it comes to getting that money. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna save it for tomorrow. Okay, but look, let me thank everybody, and we have our guest that is joining us again for tomorrow because she is a woman in business as well, and she's going to be joining with us tomorrow. So, Miss T, I look forward to tomorrow. You might
Thank
see
you.
another
I
side of me.
appreciate you
I
guys.
may be nice. I may not be not so nice.
In closing,
Yes.
I want to read something from Albert Einstein, and it
Hmm.
says, I believe pipe smoking contributes to somewhat calm and objective judgments in all human affairs. I think this is so powerful when it comes to pipe smoking. Uh, the believing that it calms you in an objective judgment in all human affairs. I think that is so powerful, and it's wonderfully quoted and said by Albert Einstein. And when I'm in my feelings, this is what I think about.
Yeah.
And then when we say human affairs, that's a broad that's covering everything,
Absolutely.
as humans and what we
Absolutely.
do.
Brought
Yeah.
to brought to you by the guy that invented the atomic bomb.
And yes, he did, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Thank you for
Pipe
that
smoker.
reminder. Thank you.
Well, him and Oppenheimer, but yeah, they were both pipe smokers.
Pipe
Right.
smokers.
Well, to our viewers, once again, thank
Thank
you
you. Thank you. Thank you.
so graciously for hanging in there with us. And we thank all of you. Do me a favor when you get the time, share the broadcast, let people know about it. Also, don't forget to join us. You don't have to be on Facebook. You can go on YouTube and look up the Smoking Jacket broadcast with Mr. Petworth. Subscribe to it, like us, and view us on our YouTube channel as well. So that's our time. We thank each and every one of you for joining
Thank you,
in,
Dennis.
chiming in. Miss D, always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for joining. Erica Robinson, hey, bless you. Can't wait to see you come in, smoking your pipe and enjoying a glass of libations as well. All right. We'll see you on tomorrow. Join in. Don't forget tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll see you there. Don't go
Everybody
nowhere,
have a
folks.